Right, so that should be there. Audio should be good. Honestly. All right, just about there. That on silent. Oh, anything. Possibly, possibly. Yeah. Okay, that's telling us we're good to go. Running a touch late tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, never. Very much so, very much so. All right. Rightio, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this started. The episode, whatever it is, wherever it is, we lost count about 100 episodes ago. That's a lot of episode, anything, man. I think 50 something, but prior to that, and then we kind of rebooted it, thinking we were doing a second series, and then we kind of just fucking went, oh, whatever. So I think we'd be over 100 episodes by now. I have to say quite confidently, which is quite nice. How are you this evening, councillor?
Good. I actually went to a council meeting tonight, so I earned me pay.
Yeah, had your pay. Yeah, right. Looking very, very stylish there, good sir. You look like you've been dressed to impress down there.
Well, we've got this new code of meeting practice, and they've actually said that you've got to dress up.
Yeah, right. So how does that work? Like, I mean, if you're, I guess, let's just say you're a builder, or a bricklayer, or a farmer, perhaps, in a regional area,
you're a busy person,
and you have
all the rest of it.
So what, you've got to go and preen and print for an hour before you can go down there and argue.
So they want to pay you nothing, but they want to tell you to turn up dressed up like you're actually making some money.
Yeah, right. You got to look very flash. Yes. Very flash. I'll give you a t-shirt like the one I'm wearing. Yeah. So you can wear that down there. That's very flash.
Nice. My name's Anthony Irvine. I'm a councillor on Temora Shire Council. Among other things.
Among other things.
Yeah, I'm a business owner. I'm a husband, a granddad, a dad, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur.
An entrepreneur.
Yeah. Musician.
Music.
But we haven't done any music for ages. Yeah, like we said last week, I've got an audio production business.
Yeah. Very busy fellow.
Well, just lots of stuff.
I suppose we might as well, get your intro out of the way, just to cover your ass in that little corner of the world.
I think I have. I think that was it.
Well, you're supposed to say a little bit about, but even though I'm a councillor on Temora Shire Council, the views I represent here are not the views of Temora Shire Council.
Well,
wasn't that the little caps that we had to put in there?
That's the thing. We actually had this discussion tonight at council, and I said, we're talking. Anyway, look, we'll get into this.
Can't wait. All right,
well, I'll tell you now. We had a discussion at council tonight, and I've asked actually for permission to broadcast part of the live stream so we can discuss it.
Yeah.
And I've been denied.
You've been denied?
Even though I'm probably the best looking bloke in the room.
How can they? It's a live stream. Yes, how can they deny your ability to?
Well, they
upload it.
They say that they're copyrighted it, so I can't. They're saying that without their permission, I can't rebroadcast it.
I don't think that's accurate.
Well, that's what they've said.
Yeah, right. Well, let's.
And I've got a letter from the general manager saying that because I actually asked.
You see, it's the whole purpose of making these things public domain and live streaming them is because the public has a right to see what their fucking councils are up to.
I asked the general manager if we could play it on Spin Doctors, and she refused.
She refused. Well, I might play it anyway, and I don't fucking care.
Well, see, but I'm
just because I know you'll be out there watching, and I don't give a fuck. I'll go.
You did it.
You can do that. We can work that out, and I can go, play.
But I think the workaround is just simply to get a transcript, and that's not hard.
Yeah, right.
I can smack it into some AI and get a transcript out, and we'll just read the transcript. And it'll be more interesting to listen to them. Other people say it anyway.
Yeah, right. Okay.
What
was the excitement?
Well, it wasn't exciting, but there was something that was really unusual tonight that I found I just can't get my head around.
Yeah.
we've got a councillor expenses policy, and in that councillor expenses policy, there's a provision there. If a councillor has to expend some funds to meet reasonable legal expenses, then that's what the policy's there for.
Yeah.
Among other things, travel costs and all the rest of it. So I made an application under this policy for reasonable legal expenses because, as you'll know, over a long period of time, I've been trying to access Mr. Lavell's deed of employment.
Yeah.
That was entered into between Mr. Lavell and the Mayor on behalf of the council.
Yep.
Not one other single councillor, including the Deputy Mayor, ex-Mayor Judd, no one, not one single individual
Asked any questions about this?
has asked any questions of the Mayor, has asked to see a copy of it. So
Blind faith.
But I wonder.
No faith myself.
I wonder about the fairness of that, because surely there'd be staff members in the council who've seen it.
Well, you'd have to think so. They would have drafted the fucking thing.
No, I don't know. But what I'm saying is they would have certainly had to act on it, and they would know its existence. Anyway, long story short, they rejected the application.
Yeah, right.
So
they can spend 50, 60,
no,
70 grand on lawyers.
But think about this. Council have put a legal agreement in front of me that they insist I sign. It's contingent upon access. I cannot access this document without signature, yet they won't actually allow. And another funny part is the agreement that we're looking at is about 10 pages.
Yeah.
The legal agreement that they want me to sign is about 7.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Mm.
And
I'm not comfortable signing a legal agreement that I don't understand. So they've basically put a bridge too far in front of me. Here you go. Sign this and you can look at this. But I don't understand that. We don't care.
Yes, you will sign it anyway.
Well, can I have some money to have a lawyer explain to me what it means? No, you can't. Oh, are you getting it yet?
Oh,
it goes like this.
I've been getting it for a lot of years. This didn't materialise recently.
Yeah, but that's where it's at for me. Like I just can't. And to a man, they voted against extending any funds. They didn't ask what it might cost. They just basically said, no, you can't have it.
Well,
but later in the meeting,
yeah, right,
they spoke about some NCAT matters that I've put a couple of GIPA requests in for different stuff over the trip, and I've got a couple of GIPA requests current. Now, some of these GIPA requests are just for simple information that I asked for, and they just say I can't have it.
Yes.
It's a pretty good process for actually measuring what is and isn't. Like, there's a difference. As a councillor, I've got a statutory right to see anything that I need to perform my civic functions.
Well, yeah.
But also, as a person, I can ask for a Government Information Public Access Act access to something. The difference is, if I ask for it as a council, they can say that's confidential, so I'm sworn to the confidentiality provision.
Yeah.
If I get it through the GIPA Act, then it's public access and everyone can view it.
Yep.
So there are some things I ask for that I believe I should be given as a councillor.
Yes.
But they won't give me. Now, the only thing I can basically do then is to run it through the GIPA process and see how it flies. What other options have I got, really, without spending, taking out second, third, fourth, fifth mortgages on my home to fund legal matters in the Supreme Court to enforce my rights as a councillor?
Yeah. Which you were voted in by the people of the community.
Yeah, so
to that role.
So there's some really funny things going on. And to that end, a lot of the GIPA requests that I put in are actually met immediately. Or if they do reach the NCAT, they say give it to him.
Yep.
So it's not a...
So they're not frivolous things you're asking.
No.
Things that are not only not frivolous, but they're also not things that should be being kept from you in the first place.
But even still, there's one matter that I've filed recently where early in January I asked the General Manager for information directly concerning me and the performance of my civic functions. And the General Manager said, do a GIPA. Do GIPA. The General Manager never said, I don't want to give this to you for this, this, and this, or what do you want it for, or blah, blah, blah. No, the General Manager said, no, do a GIPA.
Yeah, right.
But in tonight's meeting, they estimated that every time one of these matters goes to NCAT, It costs about $20,000 for the ratepayers.
Well, I don't need to estimate it. We've worked that out over the last 2 years of this
No,
program.
but some of them run into a lot more.
Yeah.
Like-
But on average, 20K makes sense. Yeah, from what numbers we've thrown around for the last couple of years.
So, on the one hand, the mayor's trying to make a villain of me for costing council all this money, but when the general manager's actually telling me,
If you want this information, that's what you need to do. Because
Yeah,
I'm not giving it to you. No.
but that's the thing, I don't believe that even that response is correct.
Well, I think most of it stinks to high heaven, but
That's the whole thing. Like, open and transparent government isn't built on secrets. And it certainly isn't built on a situation where I've got it and you can't have it. And in order for you to have it, you've got to sign a really nasty legal agreement, and we own you forever.
without any legal support.
Yeah, you don't get legal advice.
Yeah, that's right. No, fuck them.
Well, so really, they've left me no choice. I'll go and get my own legal advice, and then I'll prosecute the matter myself.
Fair enough.
Like, that's about all I can do.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to be stood over by a bunch of thugs. Realistically, what they've said is, we're going to put a really, really onerous legal document in front of you.
Yeah.
And we're not going to...
And we've used many of council's dollars, ratepayers' dollars, to make sure that this is onerous and it's complicated.
And who drew it up?
Well, I'm assuming some very expensive fucking lawyers.
That's right.
I do love using
so they've used expensive lawyers to draw it up.
Yeah.
But they won't allow me to have
another expensive lawyer to analyse it and
tell me what sort of a lion's jaw I'm putting my head in. Anyway, I haven't made my mind up yet, but there's a lot of options on the table. So I'm going to sit back, and there's no rush on this. There's never a rush. Don't rush.
Not going anywhere.
Well, we're not going anywhere.
No.
So, look, I just don't know if it turns out in the long run, and this is just spitballing an idea.
Yeah.
If it turns out in the long run that actually I should have had access to that document, and if it's like, we've already had an NCAT decision that basically supports it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm on reasonably solid footing when I say that I think I probably will be able to enforce my rights and access it without signing the legal agreement. Where does the mayor sit? Has the mayor put an unreasonable precondition on something for one of his own councillors and then committed council to the expenditure of probably $100,000 in funds, and then it turns out that it was a
valid
invalid.
Well, it was valid for you to be wanting to look at it, and it's valid for it to be public access, and it's valid for
but it was invalid for him to actually put those conditions in front of me in the first place.
Correct.
I'd
be thinking lawsuit.
No,
I would be, but then I'm an outsider.
But would that put the mayor in an untenable position?
Not in this little community, it wouldn't.
Really?
I reckon you could shit on the floor, and some people in this town would still lick it up and think that it's amazing. Not all. I think the facade's coming unstuck a little bit, but I'm sure there's still an element of people in this joint that would go, oh, but he does so many good things.
So this is the thing.
It's like, he just gets his photo taken a fucking lot.
People want
he doesn't have a fucking life, and he's not. Let's be fair, he's not running a business.
No,
he's fucking.
He's running a business, but it ain't at the clothes shop.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's the doors are open, and there's a few pair of pants, a couple of pair of socks that probably sell a couple every now and then, but it's certainly not running a business. And I still think there's an element of people who could shit on the floor and they go, oh, poor Ricky.
Yes, but there's surely when it's considered though, like the amount of dumb decisions he's made over this process, like when the town hall project went pear-shaped, he had the opportunity. I reached out to him.
He's been protected for a long time based on his family.
No, but this wasn't.
And he's been unchallenged for fucking.
But this wasn't, like I say, this was something that could have been quite easily sorted out.
Of course, but that's not the point. The point is don't question the authority.
But okay, so when that all went to pieces, I said, look, this is ridiculous. I've done a lot of work in this. I'm going to give you an invoice for X amount of hours.
Yeah.
And they told me I couldn't. They weren't going to pay it, and that was that.
Yeah.
And then I sort of dug in a bit, and I said, no, I've got all this evidence and proof.
Yep.
And I put that proof before them, and I think they sort of thought, yeah, well, he probably has.
He probably has, and we better do something.
So the best thing we need is a muzzle. because we can't have an individual actually talking about their experience of getting pineapple by council. So they put a 10-page legal agreement in front of me and insisted I sign that in order to get paid for work I'd proven I'd done.
Yeah.
And I said, why do I have to sign a 10-page legal agreement in order to get paid for work I've proven I've done? And they didn't have a sensible answer to that. Anyway, as we know, 3 weeks later, the ex-general manager, Mr. Lavelle, lobbed at my workshop and walked into my office without making an appointment, without giving me any notice that he was coming. And he had a cheque for the full amount in one hand and a 1-page legal document in the other. And he said, you can have this if you sign this. And I think that's bullying.
Oh, well, it's certainly.
I felt like it was bullying.
There are certainly some elements of intimidation and
but
coercion. What do they call it now at the moment? It's called coercive control. Is the big one they're talking about on the TV now.
I just think it was out and out bullying.
Yeah, making a prick of yourself.
Anyway, but I told Mr. Lavelle to put the cheque back in his pocket and I'd read the legal document and I'd be back in touch. And I basically rolled out the same argument. Gary, please explain to me, why do I have to sign a legal document in order to get paid for work I've proven I've done?
Yes.
And
That
Gary
you
said,
fuckers commission.
Gary said to me at the time, he said, no, you misunderstand. This is purely for audit purposes. Matter of fact, you can write your own. So after fighting tooth and nail for 12 months and having a 10-page legal document put in front of me and a 1-page legal document put in front of me, I pick up the cheque that I'd asked for on the 23rd of August 2018. I picked it up on the 9th of August 2019. So that ain't 12 months, it's 2 weeks off. It'll do.
Close enough.
And I had to give him a receipt. Now, I could have given him a fucking receipt on the 24th of August if he had to scratch the fucking cheque out then. But no, he thought he'd play games. Now, the mayor seems to think he sits on this great pedestal of integrity and beautifulness, and I'm so honest and forthright. Why does it take your organisation 12 months to pay a bill? A genuine bill. It's obviously a genuine bill because you paid it. You know, get it into your head, kids. He's full of shit.
So what went on in the meeting tonight? Was it all?
Well, it was the same sort of thing.
Friendly
No, it was a real hit job. It was a real bullying fest, and there was a real attempt by the mayor to make me out to be the villain. But I'm only there because I'm responding to the way I was treated way back then, and it hasn't gotten any better. Again, I will challenge the mayor. Why do I have to sign this agreement when I'm a councillor and I should have access to this agreement? Why do I have to sign it? Oh, because I've got legal advice and it recommends that you should. Yes, but what legal terminology is it citing?
Yes.
That doesn't matter. I said you have to sign it. You have to sign it. Okay, everyone, do we agree? Oh, yes, we agree.
Yeah, fuck off.
Well, and so tonight we got into a situation where all of the councillors voted not to extend me the opportunity to actually protect myself in this matter, hang me out to dry and try and basically deprive me of my right as a councillor.
Oh, there's no surprise there, really.
No, so that was very sad. The rest of the meeting went through pretty quick. There was nothing really controversial. There was a couple of things that we're going to talk about at a later date that weren't ideal. But hey, this council ain't ideal. That's why I'm there. I didn't go on there because I wanted to be part of a great team. I went on there because I'm doing a great job. There were some nasty things said.
Mr. Rothwell's joined us. How are you? The Mayor of Mendooran's aboard. How are you, good sir? And also for those of you watching, of course, feel free to comment in the thing if you're genuine, whatever. I'll put it up. If you're some lunatic with a avatar or whatever, I'll probably ignore you. But if you're genuine and whatever you want to interact, you're more than welcome to do so in the chat.
Yeah, so I think probably at the moment the biggest issue at the council is that the mayor is trying to make me the villain and the root of all evil and the reason that everything's going to pack. But I think we've really got to actually start to have a look at the mayor and his entourage. No, seriously, and start to understand that a lot of the problems that they're facing, they've brought upon themselves through poor choices. And it's starting to sheet home. It's uncomfortable, I know, as it should be, because you might have fucked up. Now, We don't know that yet, do we? So we can't jump to conclusions. So let's just all be friends and just keep smiling, and we'll just work through it.
There you go. That's very
Well, I'm just a diplomatic guy. You know, I always try to subscribe to this wonderful document called Free Speech in Local Government in New South Wales, a guideline. And it was published in June 2025. Now, would you believe our friend, Uncle Ron Honig, friend of the show?
What's Uncle Ron done?
Uncle Ron was at Budget Estimates. And there was some discussion around muzzling councillors.
Yeah, right.
And bringing councillors to heel.
Did he stand up on the side of right, or is he sort of being brought to heel?
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to get a clip of Uncle Ron of Budget Estimates because they won't resent me showing that. And he actually does land on the side of free speech.
Goodness me.
He actually rolled out
his own document.
Well, he referenced the implied freedom of political communication under the Australian Constitution and how free speech is regulated in Australia. So, look, I think reading between the lines, I think Ron is sick and tired of all these little tit-for-tat code of conduct things.
Yeah.
He said, I've got code of conduct.
Oh.
You know?
It's pathetic. And
he said, I've got one ear that sticks out bigger than the other. Code of conduct.
Oh, the state government needs to be abolished, or local government needs to be abolished. I'd like to see them all abolished, but at the very least, one of them needs to fucking go. And I don't really give a shit which, to be perfectly honest. Couldn't care less.
No, this is the... Look, we need a level, we need a group of people with the right frame of mind to help us arrange ourselves into some form of a community and just take care of the basics.
Well,
if we're going to live in close proximity, and this is something that humans have done all throughout civilization, there's been government.
Yeah, there's always some form of...
Yeah, so you've got to have a bit of an idea. You can't just go open slather.
Well, you can.
You can, but it gets very primitive very quick.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, not for the people who can handle themselves, I suppose. I really do think that probably together we can achieve more.
I don't doubt that either. But as you said, you need a group of people, right frame of mind or whatever. Who determines that? Because I reckon your current political opponents down there at Temora Shire Council, they feel like they are the ones of the right frame of mind with the right morals and the right
anointed.
They feel like they've been anointed.
I think they've been.
That's what I'm saying. They actually feel like they're doing the Lord's work or some bullshit. And here you are going, no, I'm right. So who's right? Now, I mean,
good question.
That's where we always end up in all these discussions.
The only answer I'll give you is, I believe if they had treated me fairly back in 2018, I wouldn't be there.
Sure.
So I really have got a better life, and I really do want to spend my time more productively than sitting in a room with Temora Shire Council.
Oh, come on.
Seriously, I have never had aspirations to be on council for the council aspect of it.
But you get to put letters in front of your name and everything.
Yes.
Now.
No, I don't.
They isn't. So you see, is it?
Oh, yes, yeah, crony.
Very.
No, but like I say, I really had no aspirations to be there. The only reason I'm actually on council is because there were some great wrongs done to me. I stood up for myself. I was treated really poorly. And at that point, I just went, wow, is it that bad?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I actually addressed it all and actually found out the depth of it, then I said, well, it is that bad. And look, I can either let these people ruin my reputation, try and destroy my business and try and run me out of town, or I can dig in and jam it back at them and expose them for what they are and upset their game. And that's what I've chosen to do. And I think I've been pretty effective. I want to thank all of my supporters, and there's many of them, believe it or not. Would you believe a beautiful person today came up to my workshop and gave me, and I wasn't there, but a lady who works with me was there, and she received the gifts on my behalf. Again, another member of the community turned up and said, "You tell that fella he's doing a great job, and I want him to have these cakes."
Yeah, right. No, that's not fair. Have you declared them?
No,
you need to declare them as,
no, I'm not. And they were delicious. And I shared them with my co-worker, and they were bloody yummy.
That's outrageous.
Well,
where's my cake?
But I didn't get any cakes
Not that
tonight.
I need any
I got
cake photos.
pineapples tonight. Cakes in the morning.
Pineapples.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, like I say, if they think, if Rick Furman thinks that bullying me is going to have the desired outcome, he's just so far deluded.
They've been getting away with this shit for a lot of years, and they've done it to a lot of people.
Yes.
And they've won, generally. Generally speaking, they've come out on top, this gang. Now, there's a couple of things that they weren't betting on. They weren't on you laying down the law and kind of going, well, no, I'm not going to cop this.
I've got proof. I've got evidence. Stop lying to me. That sort of stuff.
That sort of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. That's
right. Facts.
Facts.
Yeah,
reality.
Evidence and facts.
But the reality for them is, for a lot of years, nobody questioned, nobody asked.
They just
everybody was sort of in awe of this machine.
Yeah, be a good dog, and we'll make sure that we'll throw you a bone.
We'll throw you a bone. We'll give you a little pat on the head. You can tell people you know me, and how lucky you are. And unfortunately,
wrong dog. And eventually you get the wrong dog.
Yeah.
And the wrong dog jacks up and bites you on the arse.
Yeah, fuck, they're finding that out now.
Well, I think they are.
It is good fun.
But also, the one thing that blows my mind, and this is just, and it blows a lot of other people's minds when they actually turn their mind to it. Am I the only person in Temora Shire Council out of 6,600 people with the guts to stand up to Rick Furman? Am I it?
Look, I can think of at least one other, but then he's a bit fucking mad.
But you never got on council.
No. I tell you what, though, wouldn't the headlines have been funny if I'll tell you what, that'd be a wild show.
Well, I reckon you should. I
reckon I'd put Thaler to shame at upsetting these bricks. I think that could be cool.
Anyway, like I said, anyway, we're going to have a mayoral election in September. I'm going to put my name forward. I probably won't get up, but don't worry, it's just one election closer to getting up. And it'll happen.
How much fun is that?
Well,
look, we're just coming up on the 30-minute mark. We haven't done Rick picks. We'll do that quickly, and then we'll move on to a few other topics. Fuck, there's a lot going on. If you don't know, the local mayor, his name is Ricky. And now Ricky's very popular with the local newspaper, the Temora Independent. I call it the Hit Job Herald, because by Christ, they've had a couple of cracks at coming out with some, well, in my case, it was accurate, but they certainly come gunning at me a lot harder than they would most.
Well, you got a front page where a lot of people get third page about that big. You got
I got front page. I should be on the front page. Fucking megastar. But it's quite often a thing, guys, where in a 5-page newspaper, this guy will have his photo taken at least 4, 5, 6 times in a tiny little country newspaper, which indicates to me that no other councillor in town does anything, because they never get their photo in the paper. So they're purely there to support the Crown. So we've come up with a segment we call Dick Pics. So, Rick,
the reason why, I think the record's 11 appearances in one
newspaper.
Now, that's pretty good for one individual in a town.
6,000 people.
If there was 3 people in town, well, you'd say, okay, well, you do 11, I'll do 11.
Yeah.
But when there's a few others of us. Anyway, look, there will be a time, and we're going to talk about this soon too, because if you want all the glory, you've got to take the blame.
Absolutely.
And if you've been the mayor since 2012, when things go bad,
nobody else to blame.
Who you going to call?
Oh, it's probably Trump's fault.
Yes, well,
could have been Trump. Yeah.
Anyway, front page.
Is he in there?
No.
Fail.
Page 2. No. Page 3. No.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, close.
That's to McCormack. Fuck me.
Close. Close.
So to Michael McCormack.
Oh, here we go. He's away.
He's away.
Slow start. Slow getting out of the gates this week. You didn't get out of the gates.
Holding Chris Minns' hand because I did.
Yeah.
We do need to remind the punters that for an area that's a national stronghold for an awful long time, and currently has 2 Nationals members based in federally. We've been seeing our mayor since the Labor Party have really dominated Australian politics for the last 5 years, being awfully cordial and inviting him down to dinners and all this sort of shit. And I'm all for political discourse. Well, not as much as I used to be. I'm far less tolerant of these fuckwits than I used to be. But you're supposed to be opposition. You're supposed to be at each other. You're supposed to be opposing views. You're not supposed to be buddy-buddy and holding hands.
Oh, no, you are supposed to be buddy-buddy and holding hands. That's why Country Mayors Association haven't taken a strong stance to the gun laws imposed by Minns. Country Mayors Association, all of their...
Minns is a communist dickhead who outright said, use the words.
Yeah, Country Mayors
Association... We can't have free speech in Australia because it's not compatible with a multicultural society. Yeah. In which case, to you, Premier, I say the following. Fuck you and fuck your multicultural wet dream.
Okay.
Free speech surmounts everything because if you do not have the freedom to say what you think and disagree and agree, you do not have freedom at all.
No, that's right.
And so on that note, Mr. Minns, I'd just like to say, I'm sure I've said it before in various videos and whatever, but you can go and fuck yourself. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Well,
and when you come to Temora next time, maybe you and I will have a beer and that'll be highly entertaining.
Well,
we could do that live.
And you could ask him why
he's such a dead shit.
Why he put gun laws in that far reach out into the countryside when he's trying to pacify of people in the city.
Look, I can give you my answer for it because that's not what it's all about. It's about disarming the population and using every trick in the book to do so.
Well, that's
we have to stop believing.
That's your view, and you're allowed to have it. Already.
We have to stop believing that these people have any of our interests at heart, let alone the best interests at heart.
Yes, I think they've got their
own
interests.
We've got this Pelican comes out today and has his big conference. That now he's put some big greeny woke fucking climate change advocate dickhead Sheila in charge of fuel now.
She's the fuel czar.
The fuel czar, like the e-safety commissar.
Yes.
They can all be fucking deported. These.
You know what happened to all this? Were they in the Russian?
They were the Russians. They were the Ruskies. Didn't end well. Probably not a bad result, to be fair in hindsight.
Anyway, back to the task at hand. Page 7. One
appearance for the others.
So last week it was 0, wasn't it? It was the collector's
edition. The collector's edition.
Oh, well, we struck. Oh!
We're at 2.
It's taken to page 13.
Yeah, right. I can't believe there's 13 pages in this fucking thing.
Huh?
$250,000 to turn. Now, how's this bloke? I mean, this is going to violate. We'll talk about that. We'll finish Dick Pick. And then we'll talk about this bloke's on the run and try and work out how in the blue hell you can't find him out at Lake Kajilika.
Oh, here he is. He's stuck in at the dog track.
He's at the dog track.
He wasn't at the dish flickers last week, but he turned up this week.
So that's number 3, where it's three dick pics for the day.
Surely he's got another one in here.
It'd have to be. He's not going to show up for an event and only have one photo taken. Not a chance.
Well, looks like.
Maybe they're not publishing it.
Yeah. No, he was there.
Fucking 3 for 3.
He never photo bombed the cricket team grand final winners photo. No. All right. Well, probably not good enough.
There are juniors playing tennis. Not that I'd be inclined to allow. No, I won't say what I'm thinking. But
no, don't say what you think.
Don't say what I'm thinking. Sometimes I've got to self-censor a little bit.
Yes.
The fact that I self-censor, I still say the things that I say is quite fucking phenomenal. Really, I think these people are out of control.
Yeah, well, there you go. So
that's 3 Rick picks for our segment this evening.
That would be less than the average.
Far below average, I would say, yeah.
And anyway, they're coming off.
So what's his mate Noel? Is he Noel Fisher?
Oh,
Noel Fisher get the sack if he's not careful.
I can only do
there's only so many photos you can have on the fridge of the same bloke, I'd imagine.
Noel's going to be a bit upset when he's the publisher of the paper and he's putting an ad in for an editor for the Victorian Independent. And he's going, hang on, what?
Where did this come from? I didn't know we were hiring. Fucking,
Anyway,
I don't know Noel. I couldn't pick him out of a police. So there's a ton of stuff going on. Get that paper, this Julian Ingram fucking spastic. What the hell's the story there?
well, they put $250,000 on his head because they can't catch him.
How can't they catch the bloke? Now, I'm fucking, look, I'll say exactly what I think. Clearly, he's a shit. Clearly, what the hell's going on here, Lake Jellicoe? At the best of times, I imagine it's pretty fucking wild. But you've got this bloke who stands there like dogs in a council truck, shoots some people, kills his own kid, from what I believe. He's the father of the baby that he shot the mother or whatever the fuck.
Don't know.
So obviously, allegedly, quality character, seems like sort of dead shit that, you know, should be treated like a dead shit. But how is it they haven't him? He's not Desi Fruit. He hasn't just bolted up into some of the most rugged bushland in Australia. He's in Lake fucking Jellicoe. It's a desert. You can see for 400 kilometres.
Well, maybe the aliens picked him up.
It's got me absolutely baffled.
Maybe Desi picked him up.
Maybe Desi gave him. Now, I don't get the feeling that Desi's into blokes that, you know, kill fucking women and children for no apparent reason.
Don't know, but like I say, yeah, it's $250,000 reward.
I don't necessarily agree with Desi's strategy, but from what I understand of his ethic, seems a little different, just fucking murdering random women and children.
3 people, unborn child.
It's horrific and it's ridiculous, and how they haven't caught him yet. But I suppose when you look at the world around us, and you've got you know, the Epstein client list, and you've got
I don't think there's going to be even as I don't think there's any theory or conspiracy to it. I just think the fact is Australia's a fair bit bigger than most people give it credit for.
Oh, it's got to be for sure. Like,
once you get out that country,
but those kids, you know, the GPS trackers, you know, like
not all of them. No, he might have, buddy.
Pulled it out, taken it out, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know what he's done. But like I say, it's a bloody big joint out there. And if they didn't catch him through the heat wave,
now
it's cooled down a bit and it's a bit damp, he's probably going okay.
Yeah, probably got a few advantages. It's unbelievable.
And I don't know whether he's been harboured by anyone.
Well, you'd almost think he's got to be.
Well, you can't imagine surviving.
Yeah, there are people here who are saying that they're trying to comment on the Facebook, and it's not allowing them to do so. I don't know why that is. Yeah, Facebook, obviously we live stream to X, my personal Facebook page, and the YouTube channel. But Michael here saying, trying to comment on the live, but Facebook are preventing any messaging. We need to stop all preference voting, full stop, one person, one vote to one candidate, and that's the number of favourable. Yeah, they're all ticked. It's sort of, so I don't know. And I've went into the settings to see what it's saying, and it's saying that it's fine.
It's happy.
Said, well, it says here who can comment on this post, and I've got the public. So it should be everybody. So sorry about that, guys. I don't know, Facebook have been notoriously shady on that sort of shit. But you can all jump over to the YouTube and bang your comments on there, or the X comments seem to be working fairly well. And we do like it when you interact with us because it's, you know, one, it's fun, and two, it helps the flow sometimes, and then sometimes it's, you know, struggles the flow. And Fred's saying that the sound's not that great. I thought we had that game beat.
Try that.
I thought we had
it's the right mic. It should be okay.
Yeah. Maybe I don't inject as I normally do.
No, I can't say especially just takes care of itself.
It's normally not too bad. But on the bright side, gang, new t-shirt. I got 2 of these bad boys. I showed one off this morning. And here's the second one finally arrived in the mail. So pretty happy with that. It's an old and absolutely stand by it. More than happy to look, I'm at the point with these people who violate kids that, as far as I'm concerned, wood chipper, feet first, not going the wood chipper route, public hangings. I just don't have any sympathy for these people. I don't want to be their friends. I don't want to pat them on the head. I don't want to turn around and go, oh, they've got a disorder. They've got this all that needs to get into a wood chipper and needs to be with us. This thing's happening. We've had a former Australia of the year. On one side, we've got terrorist Grace Tame, fucking crapping on about the Intifada and whatever bullshit she's crapping on about. She's a complete spastic. Australian of the year, and then the other one's got child sex material on his phone. So we're doing great guns there. We're finding them left, right, and centre. I'm obviously happy enough to print their faces everywhere and make them as famous as possible. These fuckers need to be dealt with. And in April, which is coming up, there's going to be a little court case, and I think I'll be wearing this in the front row. Because, I can make a splash. Why not? Chris is saying Telstra upgrades mightn't help. Mate, they've been upgrading Telstra for 40 years. You go 5 minutes out of Timor and you can't get phone service. That's how fucking hopeless the whole show is. Apparently they can put a man on the moon, though. Put a man on the moon, we can send rockets, but you try and get mobile phone service 5 minutes out of Timor and you're done. Right?
Elon Musk, love him or hate him, he's a visionary. There's a lot of people out here who've put up with Telstra for 20 or 30 years. Well, Starlink as a well, there you go.
Yeah.
I'll be looking off as well.
What cool will be just where the ASIO gang are all watching in the background going, hang on, we're taking notes here for when we come and kick the door off.
Yeah.
Just for the record, fuck you too. When you come on, cool, whatever. That's how I'm feeling about it.
It's really biting in hard. And it makes perfect sense to run a satellite system in a country the size of Australia. The interior, you might want to run, your cell towers around the perimeter where there's a lot of people, but certainly for the interior, satellite seems to make more sense. And on the other thing that Elon's just done is he's just manufactured his first taxi, his auto taxi.
Yeah, that scared the shit out of me.
No steering wheel, no control.
No, none.
Just
seeing off it goes.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
But that's the future.
Oh, it is the future. We're going to be in box cars and we're going to control.
We're not going to own cars.
No, well, that's part of the part of the World Economic Forum plan.
Yes.
And again, if you don't believe me, conspiracy, they have a website.
Yes.
They're pretty influential. Right. Donald Trump appeared there the other year, like last year.
We won't have cars.
No, they're going to remove all private property.
And we got drivers. So what are the drivers going to do for a job?
Well, they're not. Nobody's going to have a job. You're going to have a UBI. For those of you, Universal Basic Income is the plan.
Is it going to be better?
No, it's going to be fucked.
Is it going to be a beautiful thing? Are we going to have more time to just be nice to her and pursue hobbies?
There's now, I don't know if you've seen it. There was an experiment done, and it was done on mice, right? Mice experiment. I'm just trying to think. It was experiment 23 or something.
No.
That's exactly it. So this is the sort of thing.
Look, anyone who thinks they know what people want is delusional.
So
anyone who thinks they can control things to that level is delusional.
Anyone who thinks that they can harness the human spirit and the drive and the whatever, but they're ruled over by this delusion.
Demonetising the whole world.
Money's not worth a squirt of cat's piss.
Well, Australia's just going into bondage and slavery. When you consider the costs, the cost of electricity, the cost of fuel, the cost of food, and you compare that to what you're making in your wages, there's a massive discrepancy starting to appear. Yeah. Well, it's really getting to the point now. They put interest rates up the other day.
And they're going to go up again another 3 or 4 times.
Yes, but all of the inflation isn't from
actual. And yes, that's what causes inflation. It's the only thing. The only factor for inflation is corrupt, fucking useless, fuckwit politicians spending all the money they've stolen from you on shit.
Yes.
That's what it's from. We're at $1 trillion worth of debt, and we're fucked.
Yeah.
They're not going to say we're in a recession. They're terrified to use the word recession. I think we're a couple of degrees shy of a depression. And they're running out. They've got no levers left to pull. What are they going to do? Please explain to me what they're going to do, because they can't. There's nothing left. Well, the banks are fucked. Everybody's leveraged to their leverage to the hilt. The Universe 25 experiment. That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
So what they did, they took mice that they worked out that, you know, breeding couples and how many to create this little utopia for mice.
Yeah.
And it's pretty wild. You can YouTube it, Google it, whatever. And you look at the setup, you go, wow, that was it's like the coolest pet hutch in history. They put the things in there and they had no predators, temperature control, so they never had to worry about that.
Plenty of tucker.
All the food they could eat, all the bedding they could eat, all the water they could possibly want. There was no reason whatsoever for the disaster that it was. And I think it was only a handful of generations that experiment, and the whole fucking lot were dead. They bred up really quickly. They built a mousy society from I think it was 8 couples. I could be wrong. 8 couples, however many it was. And what happened was they bred up, and it's got really, really kind of cool. And then all the natural shit that goes on with animals and people and whatever else completely defied its own logic. And the males lost all interest in sex. The males lost all interest in fighting and defending their women. Which is what men are built for, which is protecting and yes, exactly. They weren't interested, and they had these beautiful mice that would just sit around and lick themselves all day. You know, humans that are not far from that fucking at this stage, and they had nothing to do. They were completely devoid of any purpose whatsoever. So they started eating each other. They've died. They're all fucked. So they had everything they could possibly have. You know, on paper, everything you could want. Yes. And they all died within a couple. I don't think it lasted 2 years. And they'd worked out, you know, based on how many couples they had, as to they had an idea of what should have happened, and did the opposite. And they're trying to do the same thing. Seeking, you won't own anything. Don't worry about anything. You'll own nothing, and you'll be happy. That's the big thing. Funny how I can comment those dogs are watching. Yeah, fuck, mate, that doesn't surprise me at all. Your life's been fracked, still good topics. Yeah, mate, quite possibly. I actually, during what happened, here's an interesting little one, apart from my fucking cities wiping themselves out. During the council elections, when I had to speak to the Electoral Commission, if you recall, I got a phone call from the New South Wales Electoral Commission, regarding this very program. Because obviously Anthony was running again. I threw my hat in the ring, really. I just did it really because I like making these people shit themselves. And they rang me up. So there was obviously a complaint or a concern about the program, if I recall. And anyway, the bloke I spoke to, he goes, yeah, mate, how you going? Look, we're just touching base. There's been some concerns about this program. I said, right, what are the concerns? He said, well, we can't find any. And I said, what do you mean? So somebody's complained that we were talking out of turn, and we were pushing some boundaries of whatever within that little space. And I said to him, what do you mean? He goes, oh, we've been watching it. And I said, what do you mean we? I said, yeah, well, there's like an office full of us, and we've all been watching your show semi-regularly. And we think you're doing great. We'd love to see you get in there. It'd be fucking funny. And I went, all warm and fuzzy. But that's the type of reach that this sort of program's getting now, which is kind of interesting in and of itself.
I'm sure that there would be someone at the Office of Local Government tasked with watching every second of it.
Oh, without a doubt.
And I'm sure that at Temora Shire Council, that's the same.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a heap of people in here who are watching. You know?
Oh, fuck. How funny. It is funny, but, you know, I was quite flattered because that was pretty early on in the piece we were doing. So,
again, that whole reverse. I just can't believe that the way that we got kicked off the local radio.
All 10 listeners that tuned in semi-regularly when they remembered that it was on, and they were kind of like, oh, fuck, radio
goals can run more. It's like we're going to, every time they do so, like, even this recent thing happened
I'm going to play the thing. I'm going to fucking. I'm broadcasted everywhere. There's not a fucking thing you can do about it.
No, well, from your perspective, there's probably not.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to absolutely. I'll broadcast. I'll do a video on one of these pages that's getting 200,000-300,000 views.
I'll get a transcript of the meeting tonight. We'll talk about it next week. I'll have all of the actual statements. But it was. Do yourselves a favour. I think they've actually started to catch up a little bit on the production stakes. I had a quick look on my phone there this afternoon, and it actually wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
So you can hear because I said, this is going to be a waste of time. All the nastiness isn't going to be captured properly. But I think actually got some audio that's.
Oh, well, fuck, we better download it before they delete it. But
no. Yeah, I'll fill all of the timestamps.
Yeah, do it.
Because I can't publish it, but I can just direct you as to where the.
Tell us where it is. I'll publish it. So I don't give a shit.
Anyway, so like I say, it's I don't know. It's just like trying to control things just blows up in your face.
And that's exactly. I get it a lot. And I've been doing this for a lot of years, right? Some people forget that. I ran my first political campaign in 2012.
Yes.
I didn't just wake up recently and go, pick a fight with these arseholes. I've not for a long, long time. And people come out with some wild shit, some wild accusations. And I'm at the spectrum now where I used to probably try and have respectful dialogue with some of these people. And I guess in the traditional form of right-wing politics, left-wing politics, the left-wing people used to just scream and banter and holler, and the right-wing people would tend to try and be a little bit more dignified. And it just kind of got so out of control where the name-calling, the cancelling, you did this 5 years ago. Here's a photo of you 5 years ago doing this. You are cancelled. And people would shit themselves and not say what they think. Oh, God, my reputation. That sort of fear factor. And they fed into it. And that's why the world's so buggered, is because for so long these complete stark raving lunatics would scream, call you names, they'd talk about something you did 20 years ago,
put codes of conduct on,
they'd cancel you, whatever bullshit. You can't have that person at that place because they're offensive. And then, and this poor Grace Tame idiot's getting a little bit of that back now, and she deserves it because she's a fucking complete moron. But I disagree with the cancel culture, but this is reap what you sow type shit. I now get people who will say, Blur, you did this. Listen, fuck off, idiot. I'm not even engaging with you. I'm not defending anything. I don't have to. I do not fucking care what these psychos have to say about anything, right? The respectful dialogue days with me and these people are done. You come at me with your bullshit, I'm just going to call you a fuckwit, and I'm going to do it. Send me nasty messages privately. I'm going to screenshot them, and I'll make you a little bit famous because I don't fucking care. Right? You can get on there. That one guy did a little while back, and it was really weird because it was something about Aboriginal stuff. And he's saying you're not even a Koori, and I went, never in my life I claimed. Maybe when I was 5 and we would dance in the backyard.
Did he say a Koori or a courier?
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah. Anyway,
because you're not a freight business.
This lunatic went on this tirade about you're a faggot, and you're a fucking scumbag, and you're a racist, and you're a this.
He was having a bad day.
He was on fucking fire. And I bet you'll block me. I did the opposite. I screenshotted the lot, posted it all, and tagged him. Yeah. Hey, dickhead. Yeah. Hey, dickhead, you're going to kill me when? Yeah. Like there was death threats in there. There was a whole lot. I don't care. Yeah. And for far too long, these reigning go out there to discredit you and everything. They'll call you, the fuck I call you. And there'll be no basis to any of it. And they've been getting away with it.
It sounds like a council meeting.
Well, the old saying was the thing that Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a game plan until they get punched in the mouth. It's a very different thing in reality.
Yes.
The internet's not a real place.
No.
It's all well and good to go, I fucking hate you, whatever. Cool. Would you say that in life? Yeah, if anybody spent time with me, absolutely. I'm not afraid of saying to her. But this is what's going on. They tried to cancel you.
Yes.
They try to cancel me for a long time. I don't care.
They're still trying.
Oh yeah, look, they're still trying, but the traditional messages aren't working.
They're still trying to cancel me. But even they shows their hand and actually blows up in their face.
As it should.
Yes.
Right, but
because it shows their intent. This is the whole thing. It comes back down, and it's like I said right at the start. If Rick Furman's got a problem with me being on council, Rick Furman needs to go back and look at what he fucked up. When I reached out for some support, I mean, Twitter, and he just shut up shop and just started telling fibs.
Well, I had a really interesting. I've got a couple of fans, you see.
Yeah.
They hate me. It's fucking fun.
I've got a fun with that.
Yeah, and I like it when they kind of come swinging. Now, clearly they don't know anything about my history, because I use the word retard. I call you spastic if you're being a spastic, and I make no apologies for it. Clearly, you have an issue with disabled people.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, the bloke that I chased around a wheelchair for 5, 6, 7, 8 years probably would disagree. Now, I had an issue with him having a disability. It was wasn't very nice.
Yeah.
And his disability do with whether or not you have a disability. But if you are a technically speaking normal person without any disabilities, and you think the government loves you, the government's here to protect you, paying more taxes will change the weather. If you think boys can be girls and girls can be boys, if you think it's a fucking child, you're a retard. At the least, you're a retard, and I'm not apologising for it. Now, if that context hurts your feelings, I don't care. That's just where I'm so in life with these people now. And it's constant and it's funny, and the cancel game's done.
But even tonight at council, there was this great hate on me for all of the pain and suffering I'm causing council by doing very quick stuff. Well, just give me the info.
You just answer the damn question.
Simple. Give me the info and it's the way. And it's not like I'm doing it out of spite. Seriously, I have asked the general manager for stuff, and she has said, I
have a question I'd like answered, please, that I feel like my constituents, the people who voted me in, possibly have it in. And by the way, I think I'm entitled to it as a fucking councillor.
But not only, like, it's just pure. The last one on the list, it was the pass in my mind as to the stupidity of the situation that council have taken in the matter. I'm serious. When it actually gets heard, it will just be, I don't know why we're here. Seriously, I'm just going to say, I don't know why we're here.
I don't know, as we all know, like, it all baffles me that we'd be ruled by the lowest of the low and the most incompetent.
Spending other people's money defending these, they keep going back for more.
That's part of the problem, you know. Like, and people say to me all the time, you know, like, why are we ruled by such fuckwits? Why are these people so inept? Because they're the only people who want to do it, and the people who are competent.
No, but also you deserve it because that's what you've allowed.
Yeah. But we've
I'm too busy.
I have a rule that, and I've done it where I've been in political debates. Well, I've always wanted to be a politician, somebody will come out with. And I go, you don't belong anywhere fucking near it.
No.
The ideal politician is somebody who goes, I've got a cause, I've got a few things I think I can achieve, I reckon I've got a skill set that will help do it. I'm going to do it, and I go, okay.
Well, I'm telling
Oliver Cromwell.
I'm telling you, there's going to the next 12 months, 2 years in Temora Shire are just going to be mayhem, and there's going to be so much angst and wringing of hands, and there'll be some really, really hard truths starting to emerge.
Yeah.
And there's going to be people ducking and dodging and diving.
And of course, I'll be promoting it all as it goes along, and it'll be good fun.
I will ping this on every donkey that sticks its ass my way because, mate, there's reasons organisations go the way they go.
Yep.
There's such a thing called leadership, and if you're the leader and things aren't going well, you know what?
Absolutely,
and anyone who tries to blame someone else or throw someone else under the bus is the consummate politician.
Oh, that's what
But in the bush they found out.
as they should.
So
other sites there, Michael. X is in the Dean McRae Freedom Chef page, and the Doonan of Spin Doctors YouTube channel. So you should be able to find them pretty easily.
No, look, and the whole world is eating itself. We don't know what's going on in the East, even the reasons are, but 1 minute Putin's the devil, the next minute he's allowed to sell oil.
I think the first thing, one of the things we should be doing, ironic that the Libertarian Party came out with it today, because usually they are the smartest party in Australia when it comes to policy. When it comes to people and interacting with humans, it's fucking hopeless. But as far as policy goes, they are the most intelligent, policy-driven party in the country. I will stand by that all day long. But removing the Russian oil, move out.
Well, unless we all want to bloody.
Well, we're all going to be we're not going to have cars, see?
We're going to eat dirt.
We're going to eat dirt. Well, yeah, and what we were talking about earlier with Elon's special cars and things, I think that's part of it. I do think that's part of it.
I don't know. I think it's just fluky timing for Elon, but
I don't think so. I honestly think that this is all part of the Great Reset that they've been talking about for a fucking long time.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they don't work it out, it's going to be a great reset. The lights are going to go out. Everyone is
Australia's going to be a third world country, and they're doing this deliberately. And there's a lot of people who are going to even I was talking about it last night. My kid just said, "Dad, can you change this topic?" And I'm like, unfortunately, you need to believe that some of the things are going to come, and it's not going to be nice. And trying to explain to him what happened in the Depression, and there's a real thing, and apparently some still, even after all this time with all these extra plugins, we're having link issues.
Yeah, well,
not ideal. Sorry guys about that. I can only control what I can control.
Yeah, I've got everything sort of cracking as good as I can this end, but anyway.
Yeah, it is. Who knows? Telstra might be out, or maybe it's Donald Trump's fault, or God only knows. But like just lost my thought.
No, it's just not. This thing is.
This managed decline. We're not managed declining anymore. We're just in decline. There's nowhere for the government to go. They've got no levers to pull. They can't tax anybody anymore, but they're going to because they don't know how to do anything else. The interest rate rises are going to keep coming until all these houses are basically obliterated. All the upper middle class is going to be wiped out. We wiped off. These are the kids who are traced and their missus school teacher or whatever. They've got a $750,000 house that they can't afford the minute the interest rates get to a certain point. It all collapses, and the only people with the money to buy it are your upper echelons and your BlackRocks and your investment banks. And then you've still got to find somewhere to live. So guess what? Now you're a renter.
But even
it's deliberate.
There's a fair bit of debt that these big guys are having. There's a bit of debt.
But these are the guys around with whatever they want. We don't have that luxury.
No.
We're being manoeuvred and puppeteered. But
again, we have got the luxury of being able to chart our own destiny and make some choices. And it really will come down to people who've been thoughtful and just what's coming up.
There are a large crowd of people, and once upon a time they were called conspiracy theorists, and now they're just called people who've been right for the last 10 years and whatever.
But like I say, at what point will the Australian population actually twig and do something meaningful about it?
They're not going to. I don't think they will. I hope they will. I'm waiting for something.
We watched COVID.
We watched COVID, and what happened? Nothing.
Everyone's a bit chill about this at the moment. They're not full on, but I'm telling you, another month of this.
Oh, look, another month of this business is going to be collapsing left, right, and centre. You're going to have people who are going to use the last 2 drops of diesel they've got to park their truck on Parliament House, whatever, and good. and I'll be cheering and participating and actively. If there's an opportunity to skull drag one of these politicians out and beat shit on a stage where I think that that's perfectly acceptable, because there needs to be a reckoning of these people. But
there's got to be a massive. This is just going to spike the guts out of inflation. And it's going to put a heap of people to the wall.
Well, I've got a bread run, right, with a major supermarket chain. So one of my enterprises involves getting bread from A to B for a major supermarket chain. Now, I've said to the people, and there's a couple of middlemen along the chain and whatever, and I'm at the very end of the chain when I just, almost put it on the shelves. I've looked at my fuel bill in the last week and gone, fuck. All right. So I've contacted the people further up the chain and said, we need to talk about some sort of fuel arrangement, or I'm not doing it. I can't carry that. So where does that come from? Well, then they put it onto there, who put it onto there, who put it on the supermarket chain. Well, where do they get that money from? I guarantee they're going to take their profits. No. They're going to put it on the price of the goods. Yes. So then your bread's gone up by $2, $3, whatever it has. Well, it has to, because the game is so badly rigged in a shit setup that's designed to fail. Now, I was looking this morning and,
like they built a house of cards. There's most of the bottom cards. Like,
absolutely.
It is.
Like the British pound used to be a thing. It was a powerhouse, and it wasn't. It was the Dutch financial system. Then the Romans, and you go through it all. The Yanks are there now, and the Yanks haven't caught on to it yet.
They have.
Thomas Massey's going, you guys are dumb as fuck. And Paul, overall, still politics, and they spend their way on it and wore their way out of it. And they're coming down. I don't think in 10 years' time, America's going to be the powerhouse that it is now. I honestly think that's a failing society. They're coming unstuck rapidly. It's going to be very interesting to see who takes over. I think China's going to be, their one-child policy is going to leave them with a big hole where they're not going to be able to do as much as people think. There's a big gap in there.
But when you see the development of robotics and stuff in China, I don't think it's going to matter.
Well, there's that as well.
What I mean?
Like
China is that far in front of the West at the moment. It's not funny in a lot of respects. And
mate, Somalia is in front of the West at the moment. But they can at least identify boys and girls.
But China still managed to, for all intents and purposes, officially stay out of the war in the Middle East.
Yeah. Well, for now.
Yes.
For now.
And, like I say, I think they, as a country, appear to have actually done everything you'd want Australia to do in a lot of respects. In terms of preparing your country to be resilient and self-reliant. And I think all of our benefits we've basically squandered.
We've taken every natural advantage that we have as a country and
flushed it down
pissed it fair up the wall. We have oil down in South Australia, tons of it. Enough oil to solve this problem. Now, it's important to remember with all this, a lot of this trade stuff is based in countries that
if we focused, like every motor car in Australia should run on LPG. Like we've got shit tons of it.
Yeah.
And no. We'll buy petrol in from Singapore.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we'll buy petrol in from offshore refineries. But we
also have the capability to have our own refineries. Because I'm king. Which look, I'll probably put up with it for a week.
But this is the problem. We constantly bloody shoot ourselves in the foot.
But you come in and you go, right. Instead of spending, I can't remember how much Penny Wong sent to Indochina or whatever the fuck it was for LGBT lessons or something. But you take that $1 billion or whatever the number was and you go, let's reinvest that in getting some refineries going down there.
Yeah.
Let's get our coal-fired power stations up and running again. If we need to build a couple of new ones, well, I see that as a far better investment than, again, LGBT rights in fucking Afghanistan.
I am a strong advocate for solar power
I don't oppose it.
Yes.
I just don't think there should be any subsidies, and I think that all of these things should be absolutely proper free market,
Yes.
whereby
Yeah.
if solar panels can, a solar panel company can go, created our solar panels, this is the project, this is what it holds up, this is how it holds up under scrutiny, no subsidies from the taxpayer, and it produces a better result.
Yeah, it's got to be real.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I
same
think
with
some of-
nuclear, same as nuclear's expensive. Well, it's actually the cheapest one once it's up and running. And then you go, right, so if a company can go, we can build these for this much, this is what we're going to do. Who wants to use our power? It's going to be cheaper than the wind power or more consistent or whatever.
The one thing I've figured out with solar is it's expensive hardware, and it doesn't produce a lot of power, but it'll produce about the only power that the average person can actually produce themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't make diesel. I can't make petrol.
Yeah.
I can't liquefy natural gas.
Are you having a go?
No, like I said, I'm sure I'm sure there'd be boffins in their back sheds who could do all that, but I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard of blokes running their cars off fish and chip oil, but there's only so many fish and chip shops around. Sooner, once 10 people are doing that, where you corner the market on fish and chip oil, and next minute it's not it's not
a viable thing. Yeah, that's right.
But the one thing about solar is it works really good in these remote locations. You know what I mean? But just the hardware is a bit expensive, and it's
I'm not saying that there's a perfect outlay, but what we've done is the opposite.
We've taken all our natural advantages. We've
gone, okay, and Michael points out some right things here, the dirty fuel and all that stuff. There are pros and cons to everything for sure, and we do need some trade with trading partners. Again, it stops us from bombing each other.
Yes.
I don't doubt that. But when I look at a country with the amount of resources Australia has, right, and I'm king for the day.
Yes.
And I've got our petrol refined up and running, and we're making our own diesel, and Michael here's decided to be a solar farm entrepreneur, and he's decided to build solar, whatever. I don't give a shit, right? And then we've got a coal-fired gun, we've got a nuclear gun, we've got whatever, gas everywhere, right? Australian businesses get first dibs. So no, we shouldn't have we shouldn't have manufacturing plants going broke because they can't afford the power.
Yeah, that's where we've screwed ourselves.
That's what we've done. Whereas we go, right, if you're an Australian business, you shouldn't have any power overheads. Why should you? We have the best resources in the world. And a lot of other countries would like to buy our resources at a premium because our resources are wonderful. So we sell them at a premium, not at a discount. You fucking idiot, John Howard, who started that giveaway. When started, he certainly mastered the art of giving away our shit. But you're right for the infrastructure. These foreign companies want to come in here and do business. Cool, no problem. But you're not an Australian company.
We're going to find out.
Therefore, you are not a top priority. You have to pay to play. You're going to contribute. Oh, you didn't make any money this year. Well, we recommend you probably pack up and fuck off home. Then that would be your problem. I'm not saying tax them exorbitantly. I'm saying a flat tax. I think a low flat tax is fine, but you will be paying something if you're a foreign country coming into this country. Whereas Australians, they're our resources. We get first dibs. So if you're an Australian, I don't know, you decide you're going to go and build a manufacturing plant, start producing Elon's cars. No electricity bill for you required because we have enough resources to cover that. Therefore, your business should have that natural advantage whereby you can then compete on a global stage with and all the car companies that currently go broke because China should be able to compete with that because the tourism will be there.
Yeah, I say, trying to do business out in regional Australia, regional New South Wales. High wages, high power prices, high fuel costs, high. You've got, what's the competitive advantage?
There is none. We've given it all away. We've given away every potential actual competitive advantage Australia could have. And then we have this dumb idiot Prime Minister gets out there today telling us all what isn't Australian. And in the middle of all that, telling us what we can and can't do and what we should and shouldn't use.
I think
And
we're going to find out how exhausted we are. We're going to get to the point where we just can't afford our lifestyle, and we're going to have to.
There are going to be a hell of a lot more people in Wilkes Park in the next 5 years than there are now. And there's going to be. Oh, I'm really happy that I bought my house at the rate that I did with the amount of mortgage left. I'm going, I reckon I could hang on through just anything. But there's going to be a lot of people who are going to absolutely lose everything. And, most of it lose stuff, and it's going to hurt. And there's nothing they can do to stop it.
No, and it's going to be by design. Massive lifestyle modifications, and there's going to be,
look, they're already talking about this shit with elderly people in homes that are too big.
Yeah.
We've deemed your home too big for you. It's my home. Fuck off. No, don't care. We're going to move these people in your room. We're going to start charging you extra for having your own, and they can do it. And the blokes out there, I get asked this, you got to get the physical deeds to your house because they're all digital now. They'll just delete them. I'll say this to those of you who are having that conundrum at the moment. It seems to have been a big topic last week.
Yeah.
Right? The physical deeds to your house aren't going to see when with guns from the government show up and say, we're taking your house or we're moving this busload of fucking Somalians where they've imported this particular week. About some Somalians, I'm sure, fantastic, and some dead set quits. But they're going to start importing these people to the levels of, and it probably sounds a bit farcical, but it'll be pretty close representation. They're going to show up to somebody like my aunt's house, who's got a 3-bedroom house, a 4-bedroom house. They're going to park at the front in their little fucking bus. Remember, then I walk in and they go, right, this has too many rooms. These people all live here now. And there's not a fucking thing you'll be able to do about it. Waving a little, this is the deeds to my property. The guy with the gun's going to take that, set fire to it, throw it in the bin, stomp on it, whatever. They don't care when we get to the point in society that they're doing it. And there is a precedence for this to a degree. Again, I've just worded it fairly, elbow driving up in a bus. It's happened in Venezuela. It's happened in Argentina. It's happened in so many countries around the world, different versions of the same fucking thing, where they basically, it's communism, that's what it is, which is always, it's always the step from socialism, which we are definitely a socialist country now. We can fucking pretend we're not.
No, 100%.
Yeah. The next step is communism. That's what's going to happen. They're not going to care what your little deed says. So don't cause yourself too much stress chasing that. You either own it or you don't for now. But when they decide that they want it, they take it. And there's not a fucking thing you can do about it. And that's where we're at. And yeah, I agree. Castle law are always in my home. Yes, they'll be digging my cold dead body out of the building as well. But people need to start to take up. These are likely to happen. We are following the path of Venezuela from the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And yet there are so many parallels with all these countries that are now third world shitholes that are all trying to figure their way out of what happened. Even Iran. Even Iran, 50 years ago, it was apparently a pretty spot on nice joint.
I've heard that off a few people just in the last month.
No, I wasn't there and I don't fucking know. But
they don't.
From all reports, it was a pretty nice joint.
The Sharia law didn't agree with everyone. It was pretty harsh. I think it was a pretty easy going, freewheeling sort of country.
Yeah.
People had a pretty good life.
And this is kind of where we're heading. And, when we see things like Chris Minns saying that free speech is not compatible with a multicultural society, or we see, new hate speech laws coming in. We see a guy who crapped on about the Jews at one of the marches. He's a year in jail for saying that. And then some silly bimbo the other day got arrested for having a T-shirt that says "to the river to sea," whatever that stupid phrase is. And, people go, oh, look, but you just don't understand what it means. I don't fucking care what it means. They're entitled to say. I have no doubt that the bimbo wearing the T-shirt was completely oblivious to any of it, right? Because they're just there. Because look at me, I'm an activist. Because all these kids want to be activists. It's trendy, whatever. But this moron's now doing 2 years jail for wearing a T-shirt. Now, I disagree with anything she represents, but I think she should be in jail for being.
No, and this is the whole thing. It's just this. The whole thing is just control, every element of it.
The people who are cheering on for that young lady to go to jail for wearing the T-shirt are getting on the fact that when they wear a T-shirt that's on the other, the other shoe, the other foot, a pro-Israel T-shirt, because apparently those two are Chelsea versus Manchester United. Well, they're off to jail. Well, but it's different. I'm the good guy. They think they're the good guys. It's all fucking nonsense. But when people start getting arrested for speech, for belief, for challenging narratives, we are no longer in a free society, and that is communism. That is when you live and die at the behest of your overlords in the government, and for some reason there's still people who use this fucking moronic phrase, it's never been done right before. Well, there are millions of people caused at the hands of these ideologies that would disagree with you. They would probably not suggest that any of it's a good idea.
We're going to find out a little bit of this case this weekend in South Australia.
It's going to be very interesting.
The story is Malinauskas will bound in, according to the polls.
Yeah.
The interesting backstory will be just how much the alternative vote swings to One Nation.
That's going to be the big one to see.
And I
don't think the coalition can come back.
I hope a lot of people vote really hard for One Nation, because even if they don't win the seat, it's a bit like
they're changing the narrative,
yes,
and they're forcing the coalition,
and they'll also force the government to realise that obviously there's a large proportion of the community that aren't very contented.
These people aren't on board.
Yes,
and it's a bigger number than we thought.
Yes,
and it used to be a silent majority. Now they're a really noisy bunch of fucks.
So when you don't have to win. It's a bit like when I go to a council meeting. I might lose a vote 8-1, which I did a couple of times. Doesn't matter.
There's an opposing voice.
Yes.
There's that guy in Tiananmen Square. I don't know if you remember that image. Like amazing image, and that's a tweet.
Well, it's got to start from somewhere. The resistance has to start with some resistance.
Yes.
Okay, so there's not much resistance at Temora Shire Council, but there is some.
Yes, and somebody else will step up.
I'm sure they'll. Once they realise that they only think they're scary, they're just bullies.
Yeah.
The
emperor has no clothes. There's
absolutely. Once you actually start to understand the mentality of these people and actually see them for what they are, it's not hard.
No, that's exactly right.
But you have to just take that first step and get out there.
Ethan's making songs about NDIS fraud. That's a big topic, and we might tackle that at some point as well. But anybody who wants to listen to Ethan's song, he's playing AI songs. Fair enough. Good fella, Ethan.
Yeah.
Look, guys, we're coming to that stage of the evening where we do our bit of a wrap up and what have you. I do hope everybody has a good week, but I also hope everybody who's watching is starting to plan to the best of their ability for some real, I'm not going to say unprecedented, because precedented, I just explained that it's all precedented, but unprecedented in recent times in Australia. We've had it too good, and I genuinely think that we're going to have some extremely hard times, and it's not going to land in the places people think. I'm imagining I'm going to be shocked on a few.
If you went back and said, "Right, do you think you're happy we have a COVID break?"
Yeah,
I would have got none right.
Yeah,
same thing. This whole war, who knows what's going to happen? And we're just starting to see the first signs of disruption and how long that disruption is going to last and how deep that disruption is going to go is anyone's guess at this stage.
Well, yeah, exactly right. Just I guess from my perspective with where I see it going, and I don't make any bones about where I see it going. Do the bits you can. Try and gently warn people. I know some people who are in this space who think that they've discovered a rabbit hole and they've got to scream it at the nearest person to them. That doesn't help either, because
the person
scares them off. Yeah, you're exactly right. You've got to be able to have a conversation sounding like a stark raving lunatic, which
I've got a friend who's been talking about some of these things for a long time, and he feels vindicated.
Yeah.
But he doesn't feel vengeful. He realizes everyone's on their own trip, and you have to come to it. Everyone wants to believe initially that it's all okay and everyone's got their best interests at heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
of course.
It takes a little bit of enough life experiences and a few.
And just different people measure it out in different ways.
And if you turn off the mainstream media and actually start digest something that's a little bit more hearty, then you do start to actually expand.
Yeah. And don't just believe anyone. I like Trump, but I do not pray to Trump.
No.
I think this Iran war there's a bit of bullshit in there that I'm not. I think that Mufti bloke probably deserves to be but in saying that, I still in the back of my brain think that there's something not right about the whole thing.
Yeah, 100%.
There's something that stinks about it. I like Trump, but I don't get the vibe that this is the right thing, and it's not necessarily the right thing, because it's the right thing to blow that fucking idiot out of the water. But there's a lot of that doesn't make any sense. And president having
and also again, out of every poor circumstance, there can be a positive benefit. Now, is this going to wake people up?
Yeah.
Like, people are going to start having these conversations. Here's two crises in the space of 5 or 6 years. We can't be so unprepared.
Yes.
Surely people are going to start taking a bit of responsibility for their own destinies and starting to grow some veggies, get some jooks, build some people into their own life.
Well, I think they're going to have to, because they're going to starve.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
They're going to starve. Trucks are going to start pulling up. If this goes on for another month,
there's one benefit to the rabbit plague.
There's plenty of food.
There's going to be some
rabbit. I'm going to know how to catch them, but
I can catch them.
I know you can. But this is the scary stuff. If this diesel thing keeps going for another month, there are trucking companies that are going to go real quick.
But what about for the cropping program out here and competing? Like what the military says, well, we'll have diesel first,
of course,
and then go down through the pecking order,
and then what happens?
And everybody thinks they're the most important in the chain.
Well, but you go back to the Communist Manifesto, and seizing the means of production is part of it. Now, farm can't farm. Who's going to provide the food? Oh, well, the government will take over. With Cargill or Ortiz or with the big mega corporation is going to answer the shit for them. And we'll be at the behest of that system. This is why I don't think that it's completely an accident. Albanese is smug as fuck. Most of us would be happy to punch the guy till our fist breaks. But he's doing his job. He's not charged shit. When all this comes unstuck and the trucks stop, and the farms, there are no crops because there's no urea and there's no diesel and there's no fucking, we are a third world country, and we're this far off it. It's going to turn on a dime, and everybody's going to be stunned. And I'm just saying to the people who watch this program, please prepare yourself just in case. Worst case scenario, Dean's mad and he probably overreacted. Great. I'd love that. That would be my preferred outcome.
Yeah, if you've got a few extra cans like beans, and you can have them later.
You can have them later, correct.
Or you've got a chook.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's how it's going to play out. But bought off by those people can't name them unless you get the risk of being charged for hate speech laws. It's on you and whether you want to, run that risk or not. You can always tell me I'll fucking run the risk, so you can fuck right off. And more happy to deal with Tony Burke or Chris Bowen. Well, both those two are absolute traitors to this country and should be at the very least in jail, my friends. So, all right. It's a bit of warning for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, thank you for joining. Comments, obviously, to do all the Anthony wants to for Christine McRae's extermination, all tube bits and pieces in between there, and of course, we'll see you next Thursday night at 7:30.
Unless the world in between.
Well, if